You're now tuned in to The Investor Show, where we teach simple wealth creation for the common investors. With investment advisor, award-winning author, international speaker, and founder of Royal Financial Investment Group, Prince Sykes.
Oh, okay. A very, very good point. Now, going to something that's been very hot topic. I know you had to see this. I know you've seen it come across the desk. I've gotten so many emails about it. I've gotten so many questions about it. And where I kind of did a little live video on my YouTube channel, I wanted to ask this question. What do you have to say about the marijuana stocks?
First of all, I'd appreciate if you'd link an article. I actually was interviewed by Men's Journal a few years ago when all these pot stocks first started getting crazy, and I warned against them because I said, these patterns, they look very much like pump and dump patterns, and I'm all for, these stocks going up as much as possible, getting as high as possible like their customers, but frankly, it just didn't pan out. The patterns weren't there. The businesses weren't there. The legality is questionable. So I still don't think that we're there yet. And I'd be very, very cautious. I know way too many potheads who are way too positive about that, and they don't realize the risks that they're taking. And, this happened in 2014. So just a few years ago, I know a lot of potheads don't have that memory. Or if they do have that memory, they blocked it out. They had too many joints between then and now, so they just totally forgot. But most pothead investors were wiped out in 2014, 2015. And I think the same thing is going to happen, this run-up. One of these times it'll be real when more people and more, governments are ready for it. But I don't think this is the time to get too high on these stocks. Pardon all my puns, but it's just too easy.
You are tuned into The Investor Show.
Now, I'm right there with you. When the very first pump and dump, I do have a pretty good memory. When it very first came around, when people was like, oh, marijuana is this new thing. It's going to be $1 billion industry, $1 trillion industry, get in now. And I was one of those people back in the day like, well, okay, it was a couple pennies, whatever the case may be back then. And I saw that. I saw what happened to where it flatlined, really didn't move, went down, whatever the case may be. And now this is my opinion, when people that wrote me and asked me about it, I said, okay, when you look at all this hype, it's mostly the media. The media is putting out these emails. The media is pushing this. The election helped push this. You're seeing all these big upticks into marijuana, but you're not seeing any data, anything that's backing this up. I said, it's just all hype. It's just people blowing air into a bubble. That's my opinion. That I saw that came in with the particular news. So, and a lot of them are penny stocks. Majority of them are penny stocks or whatnot. So, I don't know what happened. I think it was the election, or I don't know if it's a big PR push. What's going on? But penny stocks are like one of the hottest marijuana penny stocks right now, or one of the hottest things right now. So I definitely had to get your opinion on what you thought about this whole. Do you think it's hot air, or do you think, because I know that's what you do, that you see, I watch you and stuff like that, where you wait till things go up and you short them, and and stuff like that. I was like, well, so people can hear.
I don't look to discriminate against any industry, okay? Like, potheads are people too. Potheads matter. In weed stocks, they're companies too, Ebola stocks were surging for a little bit, and then Ebola hype died down, literally. You have police equipment stocks. You have gold stocks, you have oil stocks. There's always a hot sector somewhere. And I don't care what that sector is. What I'm interested in is looking at patterns. And the patterns seem to repeat over and over and over again. So when a play or a sector fits the pattern that I'm used to, it's not an exact science, but you have a pretty good idea of how it's going to play out. And that's what I spend my life doing, looking at these patterns and adapting. And the lead stocks fit my pattern to a T. So until the pattern changes, I'm going to go with what's worked in the past. Past performance is indicative of future returns in penny stocks. Nothing changes. The stocks change, the industries change, but the patterns don't change because human nature doesn't change. That's kind of a quote from Jesse Livermore that I've adapted to penny stocks. But it's true because, you have all these piece of crap stocks that run up on hype and manipulation and just idiots believing in them. And then they get their legs taken out from under them and they don't know what's happening. And it's not penny stocks' fault. It's not because penny stocks are evil. It's because the people haven't studied. They weren't meticulously prepared. Any one of my stocks I could be wrong on. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, that I'm wrong on pot stocks and I'm going to keep going. Okay, it's not the end of the world because rule number one for me is cut losses quickly. So I'm wrong sometimes and boo-hoo. I take my small losses, I adapt, and I move on. But frankly, with this pattern, we haven't seen any industry that's bucked the trend. And I've seen probably, maybe a few thousand examples over the past few decades. And not one of them has ever made it. So I'm going to go with the percentages on this